What is going on, honey bun? Happy New Year. I have been wishing people who I haven't talked to since 2023 New Year still before I start off my conversation. But anyways, let's get into my January 2024 favorites inspired by Bethany Moda. Hopefully I will be consistent this year.
Hi guys. Hey, so today I'm going to be doing my June favorites.
Yeah, first order of business, let's talk about music. I've had 4 songs in January that I really enjoyed. They were on non-stop repeat. And the first one would have to be Return of the Mac, which is a 90s song. It's so funky. It's so fun. I just love it. It's so groovy. You can just, you know. The next song is called Waiting is a Waste by Mina Okabe. She, I think, is a really underrated artist. Like, I've been getting into a little bit of her music. Her voice is so fresh and so clean. And the intro music to the song is just so, it is something special. Next up, I've gotten into the song The Love Club by Lorde. 11 years later. It came out in 2013. I actually found it in the Bethany Moda video. It was actually the music to her intro of one of her favorites videos. But like, the music is unmatched, bro. Like, it actually feels like angels are singing the song. It's amazing. I love it. And it just gives Valentine's Day vibes. So I might be listening it all throughout February to Why Are There Things Around? Why Are There Mosquitoes Around Me? But yeah, give it a listen.
I'm in a click, but I want out. It's not the same as when I was punched in the old days. There wasn't enough. The card games and these with the bitter soul of blood.
And the last song that I've been enjoying this month is called Asale Pilla. It's actually, that was a disgusting way to say it. I'm sorry about the accent, guys. It's called Asale Pilla. Okay, it's actually a Tamil song from a movie that came out in 2009 with Surya and Nayanthara. And it's, I actually listened to the Telugu song because I speak Telugu, that's my language. But yeah, either way, whatever language it is in, it's a fire song. Next order of business, let's talk movies. So one of the funniest movies I watched this month was called Bottoms. Obviously, it came out last year, and I'm sure if you've seen it, you know how great it is. But I just think there's something special about a movie that is able to land every single joke that it tries while also being so self-aware, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like Bottoms, there's not a lot of things that the movie does wrong. Like, watch it. Next up, we've got Enemy starring Jake Gyllenhaal. I don't really enjoy movies that have supernatural or fantastical elements coming into a movie, but this is one movie where it doesn't use a lot of like supernatural elements, or not supernatural, I guess, I don't know, some sort of like not realistic element, but that comes into the movie, but I just enjoy it so much. Also, Jake Gyllenhaal, I am obsessed with that man, so like, there's a little bit of bias there. This movie has one of the best ending scenes of all time. Like, it is crazy. You need to watch the whole movie. It's so satisfying to see that ending. It's crazy good. Watch it. And the last movie that I want to talk about this month that I really enjoyed was Charade, starring Audrey Hepburn. You know what? This was my first Audrey Hepburn movie. And honestly, I get the hype. She's so endearing, so adorable. She's just such a joy to be able to watch and experience on the screen. And this is a good movie. And for the time that it came out, it's just really good. It's funny. Next, let's talk about books. And I'm not the best at reading books. I didn't even really read a book, but let's talk about it. Okay, so the first book I read this month was called Flowers from 1970. I know, those of you that know, you might not call it a book because it's a Wattpad book, but it is so good. I read it in like 2.5 hours, 3 hours. I don't know. It is so good. It's so sad. It's so well written. I think it should be made into a movie. Like, it is so sad and good. It's about 2 like boys falling in love, and one of them's from 1970, one of them's from 2020, and they talk to each other on this phone that was left in the house. They both like live in the same house 50 years apart. It's good. Just read it. And the next book that I want to talk about is called Lessons in Chemistry. I'm still in the process of reading it because I'm actually listening to the audiobook because I had issues, with my eyes following words on a page. But it is so good. It's about a woman who is a chemist. Her name's Elizabeth Sott. This book has actually been turned into an Apple TV show called Lessons in Chemistry, the same title. And it's so good. It just describes her life in the 1950s and 1960s. And I don't want to give any spoilers, but like, it's so misogynistic, the things that are happening to her, but she's so probably the best woman I've ever seen, like the most confident and beautiful, and I'm sorry, I'm not one of those smart people that's able to actually discuss books that they're reading. I'm sorry. But just read it, listen to it, whatever you can do, just do it. Next, let's talk about podcasts. So this month, I've actually discovered a bunch of new podcasts that I'm really happy to have found. The first one would be The Opportunist. This is a podcast that talks about normal people stumble upon opportunities where they can take advantage of others or the situation. And it just talks about their life stories. One episode that was especially notable to me was about this woman who's called a paper terrorist. So she scams people by moving into their homes and then refusing to pay rent. And this is a real woman that exists in the US that is still going around. No one knows her whereabouts, but she has scammed people out of thousands of dollars, and because she moves in and then she tries to sue her own landlord. So she's actually an elderly woman, and so everyone is usually trusting of her before they let her, rent her house. So they're like, oh, well, she seems like a nice old lady. We don't really need to have a contract. So there's no contract, and then these people take her into her home, and then she countersues them for the most random things, for moving her chicken in the fridge that actually been rotting for ages. Listen to it. And the next podcast I've listened to is called This Is Actually Happening. This is another podcast of real life scenarios of the craziest things that have happened to people. There's one where it's called What If You Had to Betray Your Family to Save Them? And it talks about this woman's life where, her father was very controlling. She basically has to run away and marry the man that she loves. Otherwise, she would get married to a random man in a arranged marriage, which she really didn't want. And her parents were really mad at her. But then, it was a really bad home situation. But because she married this man, her parents realized that, at the end of the day, it's their daughter that they loved. And they became close again. And I'm kind of saying it in a bad way. So I feel like you might not want to listen. But please listen. There's a really good podcast. There's so many good stories on here. And they're all true. So. And the last podcast I want to talk about is called 20-Minute Book Summaries. And in this podcast, the narrator basically just summarizes the most important points in 20 minutes from various self-help books mostly. I think I've only seen self-help books actually. And as you may know, I really, really love self-help books. But sometimes when you're reading them, it feels a little bit overwhelming, especially as someone who reads so many self-help books, because it's just like once you read so many, you get so confused on the advice and what to actually follow. But I feel like the 20-minute summaries kind of give me the important points, and I either incorporate them if I can. If I can't, that's okay. But yeah, if you're someone who's trying to go on that self-help journey, definitely give this podcast a listen. It's good. So now let's talk about some art. So this month, I've really been enjoying the artwork of a surrealism artist called Guy Bayou. He's a French artist that emigrated to the US like in the 1960s. And I really love his work. There's just something about, looking at his art pieces. It just, they're like ironic or satirical. And I don't know, but like just looking at those pieces fills me with a sense of like inner joy. It just feels like my soul is laughing. Like I'm not laughing out loud, staring at a piece of artwork, but like there's just something about it that makes me happy. And hopefully you can look at his portfolio online on Pinterest. If you look him up, you'll see tons of pieces. But I'm looking to definitely, I kind of want to have his artwork in my room, so we'll see. And I guess this can also be considered art, but it's more like a quote by Carl Jung that I saw on Pinterest in a really artistic way. So I'm just going to read it out loud. So it's called, "What you did as a child that made the hours pass like minutes. Herein lies the key to your earthly pursuits." And I honestly, it just made so many things make sense. Like you're drawn to things as a child. And I feel like those things, even if you do choose to do like go down a career path where it's completely different from what you spent your time doing as a childhood, your childhood interests will still manifest around you as an adult. Like I may have studied business, but I spent so much time when I was younger making videos. And that's why YouTube is such a good outlet for me, because I'm still able to pursue my passion for, filmmaking or whatever. Filmmaking. I would hardly call what I make films, but you know what I mean, video making. And so I don't know, I just, this quote just made me feel really good. It just made me relate to other people. And because, I don't know, something like humanity or whatever. But yeah. And the last thing I want to talk about in this favorites video is, as you may know, I don't really wear makeup in any of my videos. I don't really wear makeup every day at all. Actually, I don't even own any makeup. But, You know, in the past year, I've experienced a bit of hair loss, and it's been something that's hard to come to terms with, something to deal with, especially because I'm only 22. But, you know, I decided to give in to some ads that I had got on YouTube for Mama Earth's rosemary oil with fenugreek extract. I've been applying this every single day. My mom thinks it's drying out my hair, but I don't know. Every time I use it, it smells so good. And I don't know, maybe it's a placebo effect. I don't know, but I just think my hair has gotten better. Like, there was a lot of thinning, especially in the front of my head, as you may have been able to notice from previous videos. A couple years ago, like, my hair was pretty thick up here, but now it's kind of thin. And so, I don't know, I'm trying something, and I know the thing with hair is you have to be consistent. You have to continue using something. So I'm going to continue using this for, you know, a few more months. That's a little long, maybe a month or so, and we'll see. Maybe incorporate some more things into the routine and see how it goes. But if you are someone who's experiencing hair loss, don't lose any hope. Just be consistent with whatever routine or you decide to do. And I guess going natural at first is good before you go into any sort of medication. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you're able to get some good recommendations for movies, music, podcasts, even the Mama Earth hair oil. If you want to use it, go ahead. And let me know in the comments what were your January favorites. And I will see you in February favorites. I'm going to upload more. I'm going to upload other videos. But if you're only watching this series, then yeah, I guess I'll see you in the February favorites. See? Love you, love you, love you, love you. Oh my God, another favorite this month. I have been hyper fixated on cats. Now I am dreaming of a life with cats. I need to get a pet cat. Like, it's crazy. Like, I'll be just going about my day having imaginary conversations with my future cat. That's not normal. I need to get one, a real one. At least then it's a little bit less normal, even though your cat can't talk to you. That doesn't make it weird to talk to a real cat, at least. Yeah. What is that noise? All right, I will see you in the February favorites. I love you. Don't give a fuck, boy.